Hi, I'm Michael Yardney, and today I'd like to explain a bit about why property investors become financially independent. Let's be honest, most of us want to be rich, and many of us are fascinated by those who already are. How do they do it? How can we do it? You know, the truth is, wealthy people don't do different things. They just do things in a different way, from the way they think to the actions they take. I'll let you in a little secret. Not everybody has to work hard for their money. People who own businesses have employees who are willing to work for money, whereas the business owner generally has his money working for him. The same is true for investors. Their money works for them. It's called passive income. Being a property investor or a business owner is like owning the proverbial money tree. You control something that makes money for you without the need to even be there. In his Rich Dad Poor Dad series of books, Robert Kiyosaki explains how the rich differ from the poor. It's not just because they've got more money. The main difference is how they think about and interact with their money, and that when it comes to how people make money, we can all be placed into one of four categories. The first category is the employed people. They've got a job. Employees trade hours for dollars. However, what they really get are leftovers after the government takes its share in taxes. So what, you could ask, doesn't everybody do that? Well, no, they don't. Business owners and investors only pay tax on what's left over after their bills are paid. Wouldn't it be nice to only have to pay tax on what you don't spend? So first group is employees. The second group is self-employed people. They own a job. Self-employed people and professionals usually want to be their own boss. They're prepared to work hard. But often what they've done is swap one boss for hundreds of bosses. They call them customers or clients. In reality, self-employed people really aren't business owners. They're still working for their money, but they're somewhat better off than employed people because they're able to take advantage of tax deductions that allow them to pay for business expenses before being taxed on what's left over. The third category are business owners. They have systems and people work for them. The true business owner not only doesn't have to work, he doesn't have to be at work every day because he has a system and people do it all for him, and possibly even supervisors to manage the workers. The true business owner asks, why do it yourself when you can employ somebody to do it for you? After initially investing in a business idea and a business system, they let the money that they've invested, which is now in the form of their business, work for them. The fourth group Robert Kiyosaki discusses are the investors. They have money working for them. Investors really don't have to work either because, as I said, their money works for them. If you hope to become rich at some point in the future, you have to belong to this group because investors convert money into wealth. Obviously, you're not going to jump from being an employee to a full-time investor overnight, but you can start by taking steps to move up from being an employee or a self-employed person by building your own property investment portfolio. Done correctly, income-earning residential real estate can be a vehicle to get out of the rat race. There's also many legal tax advantages to investors. One of the reasons rich people get richer is that in some cases they make millions and legally pay very little tax. That's because they build their asset base, not their income. And they make their money as investors, not as workers. Imagine if you owned $1 million property portfolio and it increases in value by 8% each year. In the 12 months your asset base has increased by $80,000. Yet you don't pay tax on that. Wealthy property investors can borrow against this increasing value of their asset base and use the money to invest, or sometimes even to live off. So where do you stand? In which category do you fit? Are you an employee, a self-employed person, a business owner, or an investor? In the past, there's been a slow but steady transfer of wealth from employees and self-employed people to business owners and investors. They're all playing the same game, but each group is playing with a different set of rules and their mindsets are poles apart. Employees and self-employed people work harder and harder trying to build their cash flow, yet many dig themselves deeper and deeper into a hole of consumer debt. In the meantime, business owners and investors slowly build up their assets. The employed and self-employed pay the most tax while business owners and investors take advantage of legal tax loopholes. Logically, if you want to become wealthy, you're going to have to become either a business owner or an investor. It's just too hard to become rich as an employee or a self-employed worker. So does that mean you've got to give up your job? No, not necessarily. In fact, many employees have become very successful investors. in particular property investors. So rather than relinquishing your job, I suggest you start educating yourself with the aim of becoming a property investor, initially in your spare time and then maybe, if you choose, on a full-time basis. You may think, well, maybe I should own a business. In fact, most small businesses fail in the first 5 years. In general, I think the opportunity to become rich through successful property investment is much easier for Australians than being rich in business. That's why I seriously recommend you consider making your fortune as an educated, financially fluent real estate investor who treats their property investments like a business. Now, whether you're already an experienced investor or you're a beginner wanting to fast track your success, if you want to develop financial independence, I suggest you invest 3 powerful days and learn the renovation and development strategies that experienced investors are using around Australia to manufacture capital growth and also to generate strong rent returns. If you'd like to learn how to do this, this is your chance to take your whole property investment to a new level and join me in October at my property renovations and development workshop. If you want to find out more about it, click on the link below. See, it's your chance to step up and play in the big league and get started in property renovations and development. Interestingly, this is the course where other experts who are now teaching got their education. It's a course I run once a year, comes with my personal guarantee. Go to realestateworkshop.com.au and find out about my annual